Hello, this is the lecture series of hydraulic mechanics subject, and the code of this subject is ME317 and unit is first, and this is the lecture number 8. And today I will discuss about the topic regarding buoyancy and flotation. So what is the buoyancy? When a body immerses in a fluid, a upward force is exerted by the fluid on the this upward force is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body and is called buoyancy, or simply called buoyancy force, right? And these are the objective of this topic is here. By the end of this session, you should be able to understand about the student will learn what is the Archimedes principle and something float and something sink, right? And understand the difference between center of pressure and center of buoyancy also, and you know the ways how to find the metacentric height, and consider for example a flat plate of thickness h submerged in a liquid of density rho f parallel to the free surface as shown in the figure. Then suppose this is a one plate which is immersed in a liquid with a distance of s, and h is the height of this plate, right? Then the upward force and lower pressure force both are not equal because of this height difference h. So this rho t g s into a and rho t g s plus h into a, this is not equal, right? The area of the top and also bottom surface of the plate A is, and the distance to the free surface is S. The pressure at the top and the bottom surface of the plate are rho F Gs, where rho F is the density of the fluid, G is the gravitational acceleration, and S is the this distance H, right? And rho F G S plus H, this is the one kind of pressure force. So you can see in this figure the pressure at the downside of the body is more compared to the pressure at the upward side of the body, compared to the pressure force at the upward side of the body is here. So for this case, this body is unstable equilibrium, produces a unstable equilibrium, right? And then the hydrostatic force F top is equal to rho of G S into A and acts downward on the top surface, and the larger force F bottom rho of G S plus H into A acts upward on the bottom surface of the plate, and the difference between these two forces is a net upward force which is buoyant force, and this buoyant force just like is equal to Fb minus F bottom minus F top, because F bottom force is higher, means this force is higher and this is lower force. So you subtract this higher force into the lower force. So here is Fv equal to F bottom minus F top. This is equal to rho of G S plus H into A minus rho of G S into A minus rho F G H into A minus rho F G into V. This is the volume of this volume of this object, right? So for this case, where V is the H into A, where V is the H into A is the volume of the plate, but the relation rho of G into V is simply the weight of the liquid whose volume is equal to the volume of the plate. Thus we conclude that the buoyant force acting on the plate, thus we conclude that the buoyant force acting on the plate is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by the plate, weight of the liquid displaced by the plate, weight of the liquid displaced by the plate. Note that the buoyant force is independent. Note that the buoyant force is independent of the distance the body from the free surface. So it is also independent of the distance of the solid body, and this is taken as Archimedes principle after the Greek mathematician Archimedes just like the 287 to 212 BC, and is expressed as, means what says Archimedes, this is written in this slide also. The buoyant force acting on the body, emerge in a fluid, equal to the weight of the fluid, displaced by the body, and it acts upward through the centroid of the displaced volume, displayed volume. So this is given by this Archimedes principle, right? And this next thing is here hydrostatic force, and the hydrostatic force, just like this is a density of the fluid, gravitational acceleration, and volume of the fluid, which is covered by the total body, means for the buoyant force due to the mercury, just like as a weight of the mercury displaced by the body, and this is equal to G into density of mercury. This is the G into G. G is the gravitational acceleration into density of mercury into volume of mercury displaced, into volume of mercury displaced is here. And then some other cases, and this is the next slide, which gives the introduction about the buoyancy, flotation, and stability of the body. Buoyancy, flotation, and stability of the body. And this floating body, or especially case, only a portion of the body is submerged. With the remainder poking up out of the free surface. Means here we can define this body with the help of central gravity, and one more force is buoyant force. This force, if weight of the body and the buoyant force both are equal, if the weight of the body and the buoyant force both are equal, then it is this body always floats on the liquid, right? So this is the neglect the displaced air up here, and this is the displaced volume into gamma of the fluid, and the total weight is here, right? So for this case, just we oh, just you understand about the buoyant force, and just you in this case meta center is exist. In this case meta center is exist. And what is the meta center? First point is, what is the meta center? And meta center, it is defined as the point about which a body, it is defined as the point about which the body start oscillating when the body is tilted by a small angle. The meta center may also be defined as the point, the meta center may also be defined as the point of action, line of action from the buoyancy will meet the normal axis, will meet the normal axis of the body when the body is given a small angular displacement, when body is given a small angular displacement, right? This is the meta center. And the body normal axis and the displaced force axis which meets at a point, which is called meta center point, and this is always represented as a capital letter M. This is always represented as a capital letter M. And the so in the next lecture I will give the discussion about the derivation of metacentric height, right? Derivation of the metacentric height, and some other cases. Just here I will explain the buoyancy concept with some examples, for the example case. These are the two objectives here. First is the case of submarine, and second is the hot air balloon. First is the submarine and second is the hot air balloon. For this hot air and submarine, this submarine, for the case of submarine, this contains a different types of tanks. This is a rear term trim tank, this is the forward trim tank, and this is the main blast tanks, है ना? This is the main blast tank. So for this purpose, a submarine have different types of tanks, and these tanks gives the control its position, and depth from the surface, of the sea. And a submarine submerged by letting water into the blast tank, because weight of the this submarine is increases by letting water into the blast tank, so that its weight becomes greater than the buoyancy force, and the second case, this is the case of hot air balloon. In the hot air balloon, the atmosphere is filled with air. That exert buoyant force on any object. A hot air balloon rises and float due to the buoyant force. Float due to the buoyant force. It descends when the balloon weight is higher than the buoyant force. When the balloon weight is higher than the buoyant force, it becomes stationary. When the weight equals to the, it becomes stationary when the weight becomes equal to the buoyant force, right? So in the case of hot air balloon, this is also a uh, submerged in the air. This is a fully submerged body in the air, right? So next case, some other examples, just like as a fish. Fish is also works the principle of Archimedes, and if the fish want to go the up surface of the water, which swims, and air uh, sucks, means air sucks from the outside atmosphere, and the gases diffuse from this on body to the bladder, and thus making the body lighter. This enables the fish to go up, right? And ship is the best example for this case. Ship is the best example for this case is here, right? And ship always floats on the surface of sea. Ship always floats on the surface of sea because of the volume of the water displaced by the ship is enough to have a weight equal to the weight of the ship. To have the equal to the weight of the ship, a ship is constructed in a way so that the shape is hollow to make the overall density of the ship lesser than the sea water. Therefore, the buoyant force acting on the ship is large enough to support its weight. To support its weight. Then move to the next slide. This is the here. This diagram shows the stability diagram. This diagram shows the stability diagram of the object, but here stability is defined by the density and fluid density of the fluid density, right? Suppose in this figure three cases are given. In the three case, first case is density of the object is less than the density of water. In the second case, density of the object is equal to the density of water is here, and in the third case, density of object is greater than the density of the fluid. So for the first case, this here, if the density is less than density of water, if the density of object is less than density of water, then the object is always floating the surface of the water. If in the second case, if density of the object is equal to the density of the liquid or density of fluid, then this is a suspended body, and this behaves just like as a neutrally buoyant, right? And in the third case, if density is greater than density of fluid, if density is greater than density of fluid, and this is a sinking body, this is a sinking body which shows the density is higher than the density of fluid, right? So this is the description or differentiation between the object through density of object and density of fluid also, right? This is the first numerical problem related to example 1. A crane is used to lower weight into the sea. A crane is used to lower weight into the sea. Density of 1025 kg per meter cube for an underwater construction project. For an underwater construction project. And determine the tension in the rope. Determine the tension in the rope. The crane, due to the rectangular 0.4 into meter and 0.4 into meter and into 3 meter concrete block, and density is here 2300 kg per meter cube when it is suspended in the air and be completely immersed in the water. Completely immersed in the water. For first you collect the question data. First you collect the question data and consider the free body diagram of the concrete block. Consider the free body diagram of the concrete block. The forces acting on the concrete block in air are its weight. Air or its weight and the upward pull, action, tension by the rope. These two forces must balance with each other. These two forces must balance with each other, and thus the tension in the rope must be equal to the weight of the block. Tension of the rope, it must be equal to the weight of the block, and this is for this. What the volume of the block is here? V equal to 0.4, 0.4 and 3 meter. 0 and 3 meter. This is equal to 0.48 meter cube. For this force, first is weight of the body and the buoyant force. This is a upward force. So this is equal to 2300 kg per meter square and 9.81 meter per second into 0.48, and this will give just like a 10.8 kilo Newton. And in the second case, when the block is immersed in a water, in the second case when the block is immersed in the water, there is a additional force of buoyancy acting upward. The force balance in this case gives Fb equal to rho of g into V minus 1025 kg per meter cube into 9.81 and 0.48. This and divided by 1000 kg per meter second square. This is equal to 4.8 kilonewton. Then the total force is here. This is the weight of the water. This is the Fw minus Fb, just like as a 10.8 minus 4.8. This is the 6 kilonewton. So note that the weight of the concrete block and the tension of the rope decreases by 10.8 minus 6 divided by 10.8 equal to 55% in water. 55% in water also. And then move to the next question also, and this is the example number 2. And for this example number 2, just you go to first in the question. Here for the question, a 170 kg granite rock is dropped into a lake, and a man dives in and tries to lift the rock. Determine how much force the man needs to apply to lift it from the bottom of the lake. Do you think how can do it? This is completed with the help of buoyancy force calculation. And for the analyzing this question, just you write here the weight and volume of the rock are. So here W equal to mg. This is equal to 170 into 9.81 into 1 Newton divided by 1 kg meter per second. This it will give a 1668 Newton, and this is the volume V equal to m rho. is equal to 170 kg divided by 2700 kg per meter cube, and this is equal to 0.06296 meter cube. And the buoyancy force acting on the rock is this is equal to Fg equal to rho water G into V, and this is just like a 1009.81 meter per second square and 0.06296 meter cube. This is a 1 Newton 1 kg per meter per second square. This is equal to 618 Newton. For this forces which help to analyze the weight of this means which type of force you need here. So this is the W equal to W minus Fs equal to 1668 minus 618 equal to 1050 Newton, Newton, and this force correspond to a mass of M equal to W by G is here. W in the water and divided by G, and this is equal to 1050 Newton divided by 9.81 meter per second square, and it will give say mass of the weight is just like 107 kg, and therefore a person who can lift 107 kg on earth and lift rock in this water, lift from the rock in this water, and for the stability of a immersed and floating body. This is the very important application of the buoyancy concept. Is the assessment of the stability of immersed and floating bodies with no external attachment, is required. And this topic is of great importance in the design of ships and submarine. This topic is of great importance in the design of ships and the submarine also, right? So this is a very important topic for the study of or we can, if you want to design submarines and ships also, right? And here the case of submarine, this is fully submerged in the water, but in the case of ship, this ship always floats above the free surface of water, so both conditions are different, here. So stability conditions are also different. Then this case, so this is the case of stability of immersed and floating body. A body is said to be in stable condition. If when displayed in return to its equilibrium position. Suppose this is a example of ball. If I am take this ball and drop this ball from this position, and this ball after some disturbances it can attain a one fixed position, same position. So this is the stable equilibrium, and conversely it is an unstable equilibrium position if when displaced even slightly it moves to a new equilibrium position, and stability consideration are the particularly important for submerged and floating body also, since the center of the buoyancy and the gravity do not necessarily coincide for this case. For this case, a small rotation can result in either a restoring or overturning couple. Restoring or overturning couple are present here. For this case, this figure, second figure, shows the unstable condition. Means if I am drop this ball from this point, it moves from this side or it cannot attain the original position of this body, original position of this ball also. So this shows the unstable condition. This shows the unstable condition, right? For the stability of immersed and floating body, for the stability of the immersed and floating body, this is the good example to solve this type of problem. If here are the two centers, one is center of buoyancy and another one is center of gravity. Center of buoyancy and center of gravity is here. If center of gravity below the center of buoyancy, if the center of gravity below the center of buoyancy, below the center of buoyancy, it shows the stable equilibrium. It shows the stable equilibrium. And in the case of, it always act as a restoring couple from the weight and the buoyant force, which causes the body to rotate back to its original position, the original position. Thus, for this configuration, the body is stable. For this configuration, the body is stable and this will always be true, and that is the body is in a stable equilibrium position with respect to small rotation. With respect to the small rotations is here. Small rotations is here. For then move to the next slide. Suppose this figure shows the unstable condition. This figure shows the unstable condition of the body is here. For the unstable condition, if the center of gravity of the body completely submerged, the center of the gravity of the completely submerged body is above the center of buoyancy, it creates a overturning couple. Then this type of body always be unstable case, and the resulting couple formed by the weight and the buoyant force will cause the body to overcome and to a and to move a new equilibrium position. Means at the present time this is a unstable body, but it causes a stable condition by a overturning couple, and thus a completely submerged body with its center of gravity above the center of buoyancy, then this type of body always be in unstable equilibrium position, unequilibrium position, right? So in the equilibrium position, condition? Centroid of the means center of gravity is always below the center of buoyancy point, but in this case center of gravity always above from the center of buoyancy point. So both are opposite, right? Both are opposite in this case. So the stability of immersed and floating body. For floating body, the stability problem is more complicated. The floating body, the stability problem is more complicated, since as the body rotates, the location of the center of buoyancy, which passes through the centroid of the displaced volume, may change. A floating body can be stable even though the center of gravity lies above the center of gravity, and this is true since a body rotates, the buoyant force shift to pass through the centroid of the newly formed displaced volume, and as illustrated combines with the weight to form a couple which will cause the body to return to its original equilibrium position. However, for the relatively tall, slender body, a small rotational displacement can cause the buoyant force of the weight to form a overturning couple as illustrated. In this next means this figure shows the different types of conditions. So here this is the floating body. Here is C and CG, and this is the here is for the case of restoring couple, centroid is below and CG is above. In this case also similar, this case this creates a one restoring couple, but in the case of overturning couple, in the case of CG is always above and it creates a very large distance, right? And this type of condition, this will always unstable, create a unstable case, right? This is the stability of immersed and floating body. This is the case of stability of immersed and floating body. In this case, a body is stable if the body is bottom heavy, and thus the center of gravity G is below the centroid. Thus the center of gravity G is below the centroid B, means in this case this is the stable case. Here this CG is above and buoyancy for center of buoyancy is below. So this is the stable case, and this type of body is, if it creates a one meta center, then it always create a restoring movement, and this is the meta center. This is a meta center point, and here in this case this creates a overturning movement. Or it always shows the unstable condition. In this case, meta center below the center of gravity. So the body is unstable if point M is below the point G. If the point M is below the point G. Then move to next section. This is the MCQ section. And for the MCQ section, this is the question number 1. Find the position of center of buoyancy for a wooden block. 3.5 meter, and depth is here 1 meter. When it floats horizontally in water, the density of wooden block is at 50 kg per meter cube and its length is 7 meter. So what will be the answer? And then find the center of buoyancy. So for this question, just you use the formula of center of buoyancy and the metacentric height also, right? And the correct answer for the question is A. A is the correct answer. A is the correct answer for this question. Then move to the next. Now move to the next question. For the question number 2, a stone weight of 450 Newton, a stone weight of 450 Newton in air and 200 Newton in water, and compute the volume of stone, and compute the volume of stone is here. Option is 0.025 meter cube, 0.05 meter cube, 0.075 meter cube, and none of the above mentioned. So the correct answer for this question is here 0.05 meter cube. 0.05 meter cube is here. This is the correct answer for the question. And then move to the next question, question number 3. For the question number 3, a stone weight 650 Newton, a stone weight 650 Newton in air and 275 Newton in water. Compute the specific gravity. First, this is the 275 Newton and this is the weight of the body. Then by the buoyancy formula, just you find the specific gravity of this body. By the buoyancy formula, you find the density and then specific gravity, right? So the correct answer for this question is A. A is the 1.73. This is the correct answer for this question. Let's to move to the next question. Question number 4 is here. For the question number 4, a body of dimensions 2.7 meter, a body of the dimension 2.7 meter, 3.8 meter and 2.5 meter weights 2500 Newton in water, and find its weight in air. Find its weight in air. So the correct answer for this, here the 4 answer is given: 255.12 kilonewton, 508.25 kilonewton, 101.65 kilonewton and 127.06 kilonewton. So A option, this is the correct answer for this question, right? Then move to the next MCQ problem, problem number 5, and find the density of a metallic body. Find the density of a metallic body which floats at the interface of mercury of specific gravity 13.6 and water, such that 40% of its volume is submerged in mercury and 60% in water. So for this numerical type of problem, first you solve this problem in your notebook, then find the answer of this question. And this question is this type of question is very important for the GATE exam and other competitions like PSU, all other things, or IAS exam also. So for the correct answer, this question is here A. A is the correct answer. This will give the 6040 kg per meter cube, right? And then move to the 6th question. And what is the principal cause of action of buoyant force on a body submerged partially or fully in the fluid? Then the 4 answer is given here. First option is displacement of fluid due to submerged body. Displacement of fluid due to submerged body. Development of force due to dynamic action. And internal force, shear force, mitigating external forces, and the none of the above. And the correct answer for this question is displacement of fluid due to the submerged body. This is the correct answer, right? Here is correct answer for this, displacement of fluid due to the submerged body, right? And development of food, this is the wrong answer. And then move to the next question. For the question number 7, how can relatively denser object be made to float on the less dense fluid? Float on the less dense fluid. So the question, option A, by altering the shape, B, by altering the forces acting on the object, C, by altering the shear force acting on the object, and D, none of the mentioned. So answer A is right answer. Answer A is right answer for this question, right? And then move to the next question. This is a question number 8. And what happens to the buoyant force acting on the airship as it rises in the air? This is the buoyant force increases and buoyant force decreases. Buoyant force remains constant. Buoyant force first increase then decrease. So for this case, buoyant force decreases. For this case, buoyant force decreases is here. This is the right answer for this question, right? The question number 9 and 10 belongs to the true and false. Belongs to the true and false question. And these questions are: a balloon rises in the air, its volume increases. At the end, it requires a stable height. At the end, it requires a stable height and cannot rise any further. And cannot rise any further. If anybody comes to the stable equilibrium, so it cannot rise further always. So this is the true. This statement is true is here, right? And then the next question, question number 10. Submarines use principle of neutral buoyancy. Neutral buoyancy. So go into the water. So go into the water. So this statement is right. So here is A option is true here. Right answer. So these are the some reference books: Engineering Fluid Mechanics, K.L. Kumar; Fluid Mechanics and Machine, F.M. White; Fluid Mechanics and Machine, A.K. Jain; and Fluid Mechanics, V.L. Steeper, M.C. Grahil; and Fluid Mechanics with application, S.K. Gupta and V. Gupta also. And then move to the next. And thank you for this lecture number 8. And I will teach some topic related to metacentric height and metacentric height derivation in the next video. Thank you all of you. Thank you.